All right, we're here for another club meeting. The meeting is now being called to order officially at 9:11 p.m. 9:11 p.m. So apologies for absence are tender for our club president, Ms. Natalia. So would like to welcome you back to another club meeting. It's always a pleasure to have you. I know that it's chance time, but we appreciate you guys being here for another club meeting nonetheless. We're looking forward to a wonderful session. This is our semi-final in a way. This is our second to last meeting for this semester. So we hope that you enjoy. We do have a lot in store for you tonight. So hopefully you will engage, converse, and enjoy the session. So icebreaker session will be handled by Mr. Dean Anderson. So go ahead.
Alright, so riddle me this, riddle me that. What lives without a body, hears without ears, speaks without a mouth, to which the ear alone gives birth? What is it? You can type your answers in the chat or unmute and say.
Sound.
Who said sound?
Fernando says sound. Look, I think Mike, I think right.
Oh.
Yeah, I did.
Any other guesses? Imani said echo in the chat. Any other
One
guesses?
person to echo. Any other guesses, guys? What's happening? Unless you want me to start calling names. So I love to do that. Hi, Fernando. How are you doing? Hi, Momo. Moya, nice to have you again. Hi. Hi. Any solutions for this riddle, guys? What we're thinking? One person to echo. We agree or disagree. We have something else. All right, then. So the next one that we're looking at is the second riddle, which is what can kill itself but cannot be killed by another? That sounds very interesting. What can kill itself but cannot be killed by another? So it can commit suicide, but it can't be murdered? Interesting.
What did I say, Habit?
Seems like these riddles are really hard tonight.
Yes.
Habit.
Set them up hard tonight.
All right, so we'll just reveal the answers because we have another segment for the icebreaker. So the first answer is echo. Person that got echo. Congrats. And the second one is the word killed. Second aspect of our icebreaker for today. Go ahead, Dean.
All right, so this new segment that we have is a bit similar to guess that tune, but instead we're gonna guess that show based on the soundtrack of the show. Could be a theme song or could be just a soundtrack from a movie or something. So we have 3 rounds. Round 1 is easy, so most people should be able to guess it. We have medium, which is expected that some will know, some will not, and hard, which a few people is expected to know. So let us see how much you can guess.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend in a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Our hearts so true, our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Yeah. Every challenge.
All right, seems like most person got round 1. You guys ready for round two? We're stepping up the difficulty.
Let me tell you something you can really trust. Everybody's got a wicked side. I know you think that you can never be like us. Watch and learn so you can get it right. You need to drag your feet. You need to nod your head. You need to lean back. Slip through the cracks. You need to not care.
You need to not stare.
You need a whole lot of help. You need to not be yourself. You wanna be cool? Let me show you how. Need to break the rules? I can show you how. Once you catch this feeling, yeah, once you catch this feeling, you'll be chillin', chillin'. Oh, chillin' like a villain. Chillin', chillin' like a villain. Chillin', chillin' like a villain. Hey, chillin' like, hey, villain. Give attention when you act like that.
Awesome. So reach the difficult session. Must said a little medium kind of it stumble some people. So let's see if we will get the hard one now.
I'm a goofy goober. You're a goofy goober.
That is so
We're all goofy goobers. Goofy goober goober.
I'm a goofy goober.
Put your toys away. Well, all I gotta say when you tell me not to play, I say no way. No way. No way. I'm a kid, you say. When you say I'm a kid, I say it again. And then I say thank you very much. So if you're thinking that you'd like to be like me, go ahead, try the kid and say
I'm a goofy goober.
I'm a goofy goober.
Somebody mute my mic.
Goofy goober. We're all goofy goobers. Goofy goober, yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for participating in the
Yes, SpongeBob. The movie.
icebreaker segment. Yes. I guess Dean don't really know what hard is because I mean that last one was easy cheesy lemon squeezy.
Well, me think some people are finding it hard. Guys, it's our
Who
old
knows SpongeBob? SpongeBob raised so much of us.
True, that.
No. Well, true.
Wait, who said any of us is SpongeBob before a while?
All right, so moving into the next segment of the meeting. Meeting the new recruits. The first person that we'll be introducing is our new public relations officer. And I'll be handing over the microphone to her so she can go ahead and introduce herself. So Miss Imani Heaven, go ahead.
I'm here. Hi, everyone. My name's Imani. I'm your new PRO, as was mentioned before. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to get to know everyone. I'm excited to leave my mark, make waves. I'm just excited in general. Like, I'm ready for it. Bring it.
Okay, we'll bring it.
Sure.
So we'll move on to know our assistant public relations officer. So Karine Johnson, go ahead.
Good night, everyone. My name is Karine Johnson, the assistant PRO. I'm just here to have a good time and to ensure that I assist and collaborate with my team members to make the best of our club.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that. And our final recruit for today is LJ Woolcock, our new assistant treasurer.
Good night, everyone. My name is Aljo Cook, and as mentioned, I'll be your assistant treasurer. I'm looking forward to this new role in the club, and listen to everyone's opinion and views, and just enjoying myself. And hope you guys also enjoy yourselves.
All right, thank you very much. All right, guys. So, hopefully you make our new recruits feel at home in our team and our Talk of the Town club. Some of them are already members, so they're just taking on a new role as executive members now. And hopefully the collaboration between the existing members and the new recruits, we can bring, bigger and better meetings forward. So, the juicy topic for tonight, and this may ruffle some feathers, but as usual, we'll go through the presentation on the topic, we'll show you our findings, and we'll just ask you to hold your questions and input till the end, because you'll get a chance to speak on it at the end, all right? So, political insights. What are your thoughts on toxic masculinity? And also, guys, if I'm speaking, you're not hearing me, let me know in the comments or unmute and just let me know you're not hearing me so I can repeat myself, okay? So, what is toxic masculinity? Toxic masculinity is the dominant form of masculinity wherein men use dominance, violence, and control to assert their power and superiority. It is the result of a set of strict rules that prescribe what being a man should be. It's important to recognize that toxic masculinity is not about blaming men for all their problems in societies, but rather about recognizing that there are certain societal expectations placed on men that can be harmful to both men and women. So, what is toxic man rule? So, what are some of the toxic man rules that exist? The first one: a man should suffer physical and emotional pain in silence. A man should never show fear or weakness. A man should never ask for help. A man should never cry. Don't cry. You guys remember that clip some time ago? Quote: "What you cry for?" Yeah. End quote. A man should always be in control. A man should always be dominant. Some of the toxic man rules. So now we're looking at what causes this type of behavior. So it often stems from cultural pressures that condition men to behave in traditional stereotypical masculine ways. So conforming to this type of behavior entails suppressing their feelings, avoiding distress, being tough, and using violence or aggression to portray their power. Types of toxic masculinity. So there are, according to Robert Connell, there are 4 types of toxic masculinity. You have the hegemonic, the subordinate, and the complacent, and the last one is the marginal. So the first one that we look at is the form of embodying male domination and exercising power and authority over women and other men with all the consequences of oppression, violence, and privileges. Subordinate is found on the fringes of traditional lifestyle, with behaviors and feelings conventionally attributed to women, so that it is considered inappropriate and effeminate by most men. The complacent type, which might even be termed accomplice masculinity, is the sort relating to men who have no significant access to power and lack any high financial or societal status, but still enjoy the patriarchal dividends associated with the male sex without ever questioning the justice of such privileges. Marginal refers to those groups of men who suffer social exclusion and have only very limited access to power. The examples of toxic masculinity: homophobia, sexism, violence against women, refusing to help with household duties, risk taking, sexual aggression towards women. Anybody want to pronounce the word there? I'm not gonna pretend I know how. Go ahead and say it.
Stoicism. How is that toxic?
Stoicism.
Thank you very much. Violence. So negative effects of toxic masculinity include domestic violence, gender-based violence, gun violence, homophobia, misogyny, rape culture, sexual assault. So we're looking at toxic masculinity versus social masculinity, right? Toxic masculinity refers to exaggerated masculine traits that many cultures have widely accepted or glorified, and is built on 2 fundamental pillars: sexual conquest and violence. It is also harmful because it can lead to gender-based violence, homophobia, misogyny, rape culture, sexual assault, and other negative effects. Societal masculinity refers to the traits and behaviors that are considered to be masculine in a given society. Healthy masculinity, also known as positive masculinity or non-toxic masculinity, is about embracing positive masculine traits such as strength, courage, leadership, and assertiveness, while rejecting toxic masculine traits such as aggression, violence, dominance. So we have a video for you, so I'm going to mute when the video is being played. So turn up your phone so you can hear the video. Ensure you stay in the presentation part of Zoom. If you go in the chat while the video is playing, you won't hear the sound.
What is toxic masculinity? Everything you need to know. Toxic masculinity is a popular term used nowadays to describe the behavior of men that are problematic. While it may sound demeaning to men, toxic masculinity does not criticize masculinity itself. Instead, it refers to the adherence men may have to societal standards for masculinity that can prove to be harmful to men and society as well. Masculinity is not inherently a problem in society. However, what is expected from it can lead to the development of such elements. Common traits. Toxic masculinity exhibits traits that are characteristic to men, such as 1. Aggression, 2. Being stoic, 3. Physical and mental toughness, 4. Emotional insensitivity, 5. Self-sufficiency, 6. Discrimination against everything not heterosexual. Men displaying affection or sensitivity is taken as a sign of them having homosexual tendencies. This goes against society's expectations of men being attracted to straight, cisgender women only, which propagates heterosexism in men. Another common phrase is, "I'm a guy, what do you expect?" Used in conjunction with the perceived social norms and roles that men are expected to adhere to, this phrase is essentially a justification of actions that are in line with toxic masculinity. Men are supposed to own up to how society expects them to act. What causes it? Toxic masculinity is not inherent to men. It is not genetic. A single cause for it cannot be pinpointed, since it has to do with the societal perception of men. The perception has been developed over millennia and has been influenced by culture, religion, and economic conditions. Moreover, it can vary across age groups and can also show differences according to classes. However, all experts agree that society reinforces and nurtures toxic masculinity. Several studies have discussed the negative effects of toxic masculinity on a man's health. While it is commonly seen as harmful to others, men face real harm because of it. Adhering to it is believed to affect the physical and mental health of men. It can result in depression and poor sleep. Men are less likely to seek problems for both physical and mental issues because they do not want to be seen as weak by society. Impact on society. The effects of toxic masculinity on society are widely studied and reported. It is strongly believed to enforce rape culture. The aggression attributed to toxic masculinity is also believed to be responsible for violence in society. As men do not seek help for their problems, they often end up isolating or excluding themselves. How to address it? Addressing toxic masculinity means realizing its negative effect on society and confronting it. Men must recognize that it's all right for them to show sensitivity and not be constrained by traditional societal norms. Men need to be okay with who they are, ready to have the tough conversations that can help them confront toxic masculinity. After that, it's all about doing the work.
We have one more video, guys. They can start raising your hands from now, because I'm sure we have a lot to say. One more video, and then we can take it from there. So they can start raising your hands from now. The cue will be in order of when you raise your hand. All right. Dalvin said he's wondering. Dalvin said he's wondering if some of this is April Fool's prank. All right. So watching the next video now, guys.
My son just fell in the store and hurt himself and he began to cry. He said it hurt really bad. And then out of nowhere, a man appeared to give his unsolicited advice. At first, I was terrified because nobody for it. He told my son to toughen up, that he wasn't in pain and that boys don't cry. What I wanted to do was take that watermelon and shove it inside of his ass until it came out of his mother. But I didn't do that. I explained to him that a lot of men don't know how to express their emotions now because they were forced to suppress it at a young age. I also explained to him that toxic masculinity doesn't make you more of a man, but more so of an ass that everybody hates, but people just kind of tolerate. The sad reality is that some people aren't raising up little boys. They're raising robots, machines, or little soldiers that can help fight the demons in their hell-filled homes. But over here, little boys are human beings and we're allowed to express ourselves. Listen, if you're bored, you could play Sudoku, you could play the lotto, you could play with your Please stop playing with my motherfucking kids. Okay.
All right, so some hands in the queue. We're going to take them in that order. I'm going to suggest you raise your hand now, because once we've taken all the hands, we'll be moving to the next segment. This is our last meeting for second to last meeting, so we do have a lot in store. So again, raise your hand. If it's not in the queue by now, we'll be moving to the next topic afterwards. Go ahead, Fernando. Let's hear it.
All right. So first, I have concluded that there is no such thing as toxic masculinity. What there is men with no control, self-control. That is what I would, if there's toxic masculinity, that is what it is. Men with no self-control. Our parents teaches us not to cry as men or not to be emotional, but to be honest, it's not only society, it's not only our parents, it's society and in general. Like, you guys do not care if we cry. You guys care about our feelings. So what we have to do is understand that once when we men show vulnerability, it's used against us. So what we should do, we should become the strongest version of ourselves, even when we are not. That's a burden. I agree. To tell men that it is okay to fail, toxic. To just feel complacent in what they to feel complacent, to feel comfortable. Oh, I failed. I can try again next year. But that's not how men are designed. We are designed, we have a burden of performance. If we don't perform, society punishes us by, we're not going to have money to feed our kids. Or if we get them, we're not even have money to feed ourselves, much less. We ain't gonna get a girl because she needs to be taken care of. We're going to be called bums, good for nothing, all of these things. So it's not that we are putting a burden on ourselves. It is just how the universe is set up, first of all. So I don't believe that I believe that men with no self-control, yes, they contribute to violence, the rape society, if there's a society. But masculinity is self-control. Masculinity is doing the things that are difficult, or doing the things that you don't want to do, but you do them anyway. You're going a step further than ever, meaning that you don't feel like to work today, but you work anyway because you know you have you have standards, or you have objectives to be met. So regardless of how I feel, I am going to be there. Regardless of if a neutral family member died and I see my sisters crying, they're more vulnerable than me. I am going to be there. I am going to be that shoulder they can cry on. Because If I'm just as emotional as them, who are they going to rely on? So that
Fernando, where you gone?
I'm gonna buy chats now for reply to no.
All right then.
It,
All
it
right,
hot over
Dalvin,
this.
let's have it. Go ahead, Dalvin.
First of all, me say this clearly. Majority are not female. And God say we there online, so you can't attack me after me done. So starting up, right? The main country where I preach all of this equality and man fee, be the same as woman with all of them emotional stuff there. America, them have the most school shooters. Them teach for them men, for them young men from an early age, to be more emotional, to be more in tune to them emotions, to learn to control themselves, right? That bag of school shooters. So y'all really want to take advice from people with, up to the other day, there was a school shooting, right? Next up, a man holding himself to a certain regard, taking accountability, understanding that he's a man, so one, he can't be emotional. As Fernando was saying before he gets cut off, he has a certain responsibility to his family, right? Needs to fulfill certain duties placed on him by society, and he shouldn't complain. He should fulfill them to the best of his ability. That is not toxic, right? Because me sure say, Jaden, from when me see you and Dean, friend, right? Say you and Dean walk one day and God forbid, right? Somebody attack you. Me sure say if Dean is say, oh, we might hide behind you, would look upon him different from that, right? So,
No.
oh, really? Yeah, man saying that the situation and say, so they look upon it from one way and only say, oh, be a man and convenient to y'all. And then whenever we man up, all the while, instead of just sometimes like where y'all really want to say what y'all really want to do. Yeah. Next thing, this is last point. I'm not gonna jog this up. I don't think y'all did enough research into this because I don't understand how stoicism is toxic. And yeah. Oh, how is
All
stoicism
right.
toxic?
Continue, Dalvin. You
Now I'm
finished?
done. Yeah,
All
I'm done. I
right.
don't have
So,
to be.
Fernando, we heard from you. Dalvin, we heard from you. Thank you very much for your input. It's always valued. We have a lot of debate going on in the comment section. All right. So let me just say this. I believe that the responses so far have not been addressing what has been asked. And I'll tell you why I say so. I believe some of these responses are coming from a personal viewpoint and they're not viewing the topic on the larger scale that it is being asked of you. We're not telling men not to be masculine as they were, that's naturally what they're supposed to do. Females are feminine, males are masculine. Naturally, fine. We're not telling men to not be masculine. We're talking about toxic masculinity, the aspect, the toxic portion, the toxic traits, the toxic behaviors that are excused by, oh, well, I'm a guy. What did you expect? Stuff like that. That is what we're talking about. The points that have been raised, I feel probably you were trying to explain, but they were not doing a good job. The first one being telling a male it's okay to fail is not okay. I don't understand why it's not okay because we are human beings. If you are perfect, I good for you. Anything you do is perfect naturally, but that's not how it works. You will try, you will either succeed or you will fail. And from failing, I'm like, all right, fail, it's not the end of the world. You move on. It is okay to fail. Failing is fine. Failing is fine. Failing does not mean quitting. Fail a test, you never quit the exam. Fail a test, you have the opportunity to redo. Failing does not mean it stops there because you failed. That is what we're talking about when it's okay to fail. Additionally, when we talk about saying it is okay to cry, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but if a male cheats on a female, it's expected that the woman either gets over it or them left. If a female cheats on a male, I'm not gonna say all the time, but very easily can end in the guy doing a murder suicide, kill her, kill himself. Most of those situations stem from lack of emotional regulation or emotional control. When you teach children, males, that, oh, suppress the emotion, be tough, be strong. Just because you tell them to be strong, to be tough, don't cry, doesn't mean that they don't have feelings. Unless you're a robot. Well, if you're a robot, nice to meet you. But it doesn't mean you don't have feelings. You still have feelings. You're just suppressing it or you're not addressing it. But it's still there, it still exists. So when you have a high increase or a high emotional response to something, if it is overwhelming enough and you don't know what to do with it, you can very well act on it in aggression. Women will, and this can be supported by statistics. Women will often either cry it out or talk it out or cuss it out. That's like their go-to response. Not to say they won't get physical, but typically on average, that's what they'll do. Men on average will use aggression, like probably them punch a wall and punch something, like that's just what they do. And that also can be accredited by the testosterone and the difference in hormones and stuff. But if you teach them how to do emotional control, some of these impulsive and aggressive behavioral traits that they have would either be non-existent or better controlled. Those are the things that we're talking about when we say toxic masculinity. This is just like just a few examples. It's so much wider than what I am explaining. No, we're not telling you that, oh, yeah, man, the man for cry every minute or the girl for cry for every little thing. No, but she can express her emotions. She can, articulate herself and be like, okay, what are my feelings? What are the emotions that I'm feeling? Let me recognize them. Let me learn how to control them so that when I'm in a more stressful situation, you have to still feel emotions and again, regularize yourself. That's what we're talking about when we say some of these things. So I don't think two persons that spoke so far have really addressed the topic at hand that we're trying to discuss. We're not trying to say males should not be men. We're not saying that there should be feminine or women. We're talking about the toxic or the unhealthy ways that they glorify masculinity, which is the toxic masculinity. Because as we shown in the presentation, there is healthy masculinity or non-toxic masculinity. Those are the areas that we're talking about. So if you're going to mention some of those points to argue your point, no problem. You just have to present it in a way where we can actually relate and from your perspective. But the way that was presented so far, I don't think you were looking on the bigger picture. Another example was when it was mentioned to say, oh, well, you guys in society tell us not to try and not to do this. Society is made up of people. The majority decide what is normal in society. It's not by one single person who say, me I go do this and everybody run with it. It's what person collectively agree to say, okay, let's do this or let's agree to this. Right? We're not here to blame and say who caused these things. We're trying to say, what does toxic masculinity entail? Why is it not good? Or why is it fine? Also to discredit that it doesn't exist. I don't know. I think you need to have more supportive evidence or more to say than just, oh, it doesn't exist. You don't think it exists. Okay, why don't it exist? With actual debatable topics and points, why you just say don't exist?
Oh, can I respond?
No.
What?
Let me check the queue, sir. Wait. All right. Not seeing any takers. Go ahead, Fernando. Based on the time, though, we're gonna put 90 seconds on the clock. All right.
Okay. So times 2 speed. So first off, right? The reason why it doesn't exist, right? Why masculinity cannot be toxic is because it's around self-control. It's around self-control. Everything that you guys explain is men that are out of control. A man that abuses women, a man that either commits self-delete or delete someone else, he lose control. It cannot be in the regards of masculinity. No, again, you will say it's okay for us to cry, right? And the moment we start crying, No, as I said, no one. It's either a turn off or no one cares. It's either when we cry, we lose attraction, or when we cry, everyone tell. Well, not they don't even have to say it. We just feel that we should just, stop crying. And then there is just one more pressure added, and then they make a loud outburst. That can be true. But the thing is, we men put whenever we feel a certain type of way, we either go find something to do to just wash that away. Like we are different. Women are less confrontation. Men are more confrontation. So we are either, as you say, we might hit the wall, we might go to the bar, we might go to the back road. We're going to just get it out. But the moment when a man loses control, he's no longer in the frame of his masculine. He's no longer masculine. And he's definitely not feminine. But when he gives in to his emotions, that's
Sorry.
not masculinity. Yeah.
Wrap up in the next 10 seconds. Sorry.
So yeah, my point of why toxic masculinity doesn't exist is because you cannot add masculinity when masculinity is based on self-control.
Thank you for your input. Go ahead, Ashley.
Okay, good night, everyone.
Good
So
night.
I'm gonna make this as short as possible. So I don't know if anyone was seeing my comments in the chat, but honestly, I think this topic, people should just stop playing the blame game. Everyone can make their choices as they grow older. So I would like to ask these persons, if you see your parent doing something wrong and you grow up knowing it's wrong, are you going to continue doing it or are you going to change? Next thing is, in terms of what Fernando has been saying since night, you cannot generalize women like that. You have to say some or a part. It's not every woman would see a male crying and be like, oh, that's a turn off. Some women like that. Some women enjoy seeing their partner like that because they feel like, oh, their partner trusts me enough to show their emotions in front of me. So, and the next thing, the blame game again. So, okay, I'm a female. My father tells me to toughen up to face the world. Does that mean I'm supposed to start acting like a man? That's just my take on it. Just stop playing the blame game.
Thank you very much for that. Oh, you guys always wait till last minute to start raising money. Mr. Muda, let us hear it. And then we'll be moving on to the next section.
All right, night. So I've been listening to all that has been said, and you're right. It's a topic that can range forever, But one of the very first things that came to mind was how toxic masculinity really affects a relationship. A lot of people really don't know that that's the underlying issue to some relationships. Because when you have your partner who is not opening up to you, and he refuses to open up to you because he's not used to communicating his feelings, and it can make things difficult because you really don't know what he's thinking or what he's feeling, even when you guys are trying to come to a resolve with some point in the relationship, and God forbid he does break down that little wall, he ends up feeling extremely vulnerable. And I understand from the male's point of view where that's concerned, why that vulnerability now they end up feeling exposed. And that takes away majority of one of the elements that a male in general is really comprised of, which males are built on egos somewhat. So I would say that's one highlight for me, is that it affects relationship. And because they have the need to conform to society, they adapt an aggression from a very young age, teens, because they're trying to portray this, image of power, and I'm a male and so on. And I understand doing all that you ought to be done as a male, But it's when they take it a little, bit too far with the violence and so on. But I see both perspectives, to be honest, because I can imagine the burden that a male feels to perform in general in all aspects of their life. So yeah, it really is a broad topic, but that's my short input. Short input. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your input. Thank you guys for your participation in this section. We knew it would be a little rowdy because it can be a sensitive topic because there are so many varying opinions. But we appreciate the open-mindedness to listen to each other and just converse in a respectful manner. We're gonna move to our next section for today. The next segment is Rumour Runner. Ba-dum-ba-dum-bam. Okay, so we'll be looking at the situation that happened recently at Champs. For persons who don't know, we'll be playing the video so you can see what I go on and that I go on. Basically, some persons are debating whether this was accidental or not, and they're also debating if it was the way it was handled was justified for all parties involved in the situation.
Sent off and ready. Great start for the young Gordon. Second Gordon to the second Gordon. Now second forward to the catapult. Gordon! Look at that time. Looks to be positive. 1.1 meters per second.
Like the 40 minutes. Who they had
Hold on,
40 seconds, I should say.
Hold on. I'm going to play it again. What you're looking for is a Calabar male running into the lane of a KC male, whether it's accidental or not. And then after they race, the KC male gets physical with the Calabar male. 2 points. So during the race, they're running into the lane, and after the race, the physical altercation.
Look at that time. Looks to be positive. 1.1 meters per second.
Okay, so yes, that's what happened. So the Calabar student was Kobe Lawerence, and the KC individual, well, both of them faced reprimand. Hold on. So it was said that the Kingston College, Ricardo Clark has been banned for the rest of this year's boys and girls champs for unsportsmanlike conduct in the Class 2 boys 100-meter final. KC also loses 4 points as he was disqualified from the event post-race. Some of the comments that were on the Instagram page, I'm going to read and then we'll discuss it. One was, to be honest, this whole situation is sad as I understand these athletes put in the time to make it to this point in champs. I recognize that and sympathize with the disappointment of losing or being removed. With that being said, the KC male was wrong for getting physical with the C-bar male after the race. Yes, I understand the high emotions and how easily it could have clouded his judgment. It still does not excuse his action for which he must face consequences. As for the C-bar male, I can't tell if his actions were deliberate or not. Nonetheless, he was punished as well by way of disqualification for what occurred in the race. I think if the KC male had kept his cool, then he wouldn't have been penalized so harshly. There's absolutely no tolerance for violence in champs. Other comments included, it says, on always unfair to wave, but a one court is said way, I will not lose We don't have no lose or lose. Cool. Why people act like him get banned for life? The other youths already did gonna get punished. So all him did need for this chill. The reaction to these things is why the country's so violent. Fight first, think sensible after. It's a fair decision. The KC youth became physical with the bar youth after the race. The rules are against that. Many explanations are. So let's hear your thoughts in the comment section. Please raise your hands if you'd like to speak. You can always have your conversations in the chat. But raise your hand if you'd like to speak. You'll be taken in that order. Go ahead, Ashley.
Yes. I had watched the race the night it was run. And if you guys didn't, it was deliberate. And first fact, 2 Calabar runners or students were in that race. There is no coach that is going to allow a student to participate who runs like that. He clearly went over into the KCU lane and he obstructed him. He obstructed him, clip him. If the KCU never push him off, he would and drop him. Yes, it was. Yeah. And the KCU was also reinstated. So Calabar purposely did. I think the coach and the student probably talk and say, clip the youth in the car, you gotta side him. So make Calabar win. Calabar did win the race. The other guy won it. They did do it for real. I know I'm not a KC fan. I'm not supporting any school so long as Calabar does not win.
Just want to add, I'm not gonna debate, just adding. Earlier we were saying that it's okay to fail. A while ago you're saying there's no way a coach would let this person in there. We're assuming that she could not have had a miss up or a mistake, so therefore it must be perfect and must perfectly be in lane. Just saying that.
I did not mean he should be perfect, but the way
But
how
you
he
said
ran
there's
into
no
the
way a
lane, I've
coach-
never seen a
there's
student
no
run
way
like
a
that.
coach would
Never.
let anyone be in the race. It's just the way it phrased it. No way a coach would let him in the race if you run like that. I don't think he runs like that, but mistakes can happen. So, but tell Daddy good night. Him should join the meeting. I'm so festive. Fernando, go ahead.
Yeah, so I agree with Ashley that it seems deliberate because as a runner, as a former sprinter myself, first we are trained to run perfect. We're trained to stay within our lanes. If you watch professional runners, when they have a misstep, like they don't get a good start anyway, they are staying in their lane. You are trained, if anything you are to be perfect at is to stay in your lane. The way how that C bar you went over, right? Went out of his lane, isn't he still maintained his balance? Like he still had balance, but somehow not only did he went over the lane, he reached out his hand to push the KC youth, and then that causes the KC youth to miss out on a medal. Another thing, after the fact now, I agree that if the KC youth hesitated, right? I believe that the KC youth should have just go full on plunge first. As like if the moment when the race finished and in turn and he got to the youth, if the moment when he got to the youth, he should have just either squash it or just make it stay at a push, or he go full pledge. But since he just pushed the youth still walk off, and then he went back and attack, then I agree, he's wrong. But I do believe that the Calabar youth should have gotten a much stricter punishment than just disqualifying, because he's just by stepping out of your lane. Let's say he never crossed over, but let's say he never pushed the KC youth, but yet still he stepped out of the lane. He still would have been disqualified. So I don't think that's a punishment that is fair enough. That's my take.
Thank you. And our last person, Oh, not last. Dalvin, go ahead. After
All
Dalvin,
right.
we'll take Imani.
All right. So point number one, where everybody clearly see and agree upon in do if it's point, right? Now point number two, the case huge frustration, understandable, even though I'm not condone it. Because me myself, as just a nerd who wants to improve himself, right? Sometimes me work out until I feel like more faint, or even run until more vomit. Now him I do it professionally, right? Imagine him I run to the point of exhaustion, train day in, day out, sacrifices we make with friends, become a champs, right? Internationally recognized champs. And somebody got sabotage him like that. Yeah, the point say him could him just push him off or whatever little altercation him have and he not go further. That right there, so people should have commend him instead of try condemn him because the frustration of this man I feel right now because somebody sabotage him unimaginable. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Imani.
So I'm agreeing with what everybody said, but I want you guys to take notice. For those who don't think for those who do think it was an accident, because I'm not sure if everybody is on consensus that it wasn't. Notice his form. He maintained perfect form while crossing into the line. Him leg them never slack, him arm them never got out of rotation, and then his arm was extended, as somebody has said before. Not only that, even when he was coming to a stop, he didn't stumble or falter. He just stopped. That was perfectly trained, like it a run across the finish line. So that's how I realized that it was deliberate. Another thing is, agreeing with Dalvin, I have noticed how athletes train. You don't get a summer vacation, you don't get an Easter break, you don't get nothing. And for one person he could have ended his entire career because depending on how he stepped on him, he could have hurt something and would have been unable to run for the rest of the season or even did permanent damage. The fact that that young guy kind of held back his anger because it could have been worse than a push. Given the recent violence in schools, it could have been worse than a push. I'm not agreeing with the violence, and I'm not saying that he couldn't handle it better, but it could have been worse than a push. Him could have full on attack him. So that little boy should have been commended for his suppression. He should have been saying, "Hey, I get your frustration. I'm glad that you were able to hold back, but next time do this instead."
All right, go ahead, Samura.
All right, so I was not even made aware of this incident that happened, or almost incident, or whatever it is to be called. However, I must say the boys and girls champs is recognized internationally, and this is the opportunity for these youngsters to show how well they perform. Scouts are always fly out to Jamaica just to get a glimpse of the talent and decide who's worth to be invested in, etc., etc. So I am wondering, like, why would you intentionally do something like that, though? Because one, it would affect your image. It would cause for certain disciplinary actions to be taken. It would be so. I don't know. I'm just finding it hard to believe that he intentionally did that, considering the global platform that the Boys and Girls Champs is on. I understand what they're saying about the evidence.
So, someone was saying that he apparently there was a semi-final or semi-qualification where the KC guy also the C-bar youth and the C-bar youth are all a grudge from them. So it's a possibility that could have been it. Maybe him just never want to shine at all.
Oh, okay. And the other persons, they noted as well that, they've watched how they train and they are perfect form. So how out of nowhere you all of a sudden lose your balance and all of that. So
I think you can lose your balance, but I think the way that he lost his balance, his other body language did not indicate a loss of balance. It literally just indicated like it changed it. So I think that's what happened. But I suppose if he lost his balance, it would have shown all through. You can't just lose the balance by going straight with nothing else not show. Like, you just redirect. So.
Yeah,
That is true.
and also
Uh-huh.
I want to add that bear in mind this is not class 3 where it's
Oh.
like it's their first year or second year
Right.
being at champs or training. They have been basically from 7th grade coming up. So it's going to be evident. Like, you
Right.
misstep, you're going, and when you're at top speed, yeah, you're more likely going to stumble over instead of stumble side.
Well,
And
with
if
that
you
being
go,
said, I guess he
and
had his ulterior
once
motives
you
then.
stumble to the side, you're going to drop. Yeah. So the fact that he didn't drop, yeah.
Yeah, and you're right. That did definitely put the other athlete in danger, or the student in danger. He could have been injured seriously, which would have ended his career that he hoped to pursue before it even started. So that is really it's really a bigger matter. Okay, I understand all your comments, guys.
And make, he was like top form. And then, like, even look at Johan Blake. A simple injury just caused the second fastest man in history to like be like top 100 right now. And now he's just getting back his form after all these years.
But how do you guys feel about Johan Blake though? Because I realize a lot of persons have been commenting on it where they do find it a little bit strange that he's still in the game when you have others from his time that has retired or so on. How do you guys feel about him still pursuing and wanting to carry on in the track and field?
It is his job. Like, people might think that it's what he do for, it's how he makes bread, it's how he feed his family. So, and also like when you have a passion for something, it's bear in mind it was an injury that caused Johan Blake to fall off form. It's not that he got slower, it was an injury. So he's fighting that injury to come back. And that is the thing with track and field. It's the most difficult sport. That's why as I believe it was Denzel that said that he understands because he knows what you have to sacrifice. It's like you basically a professional athlete only get 1 month off the year from competing.
Right. And that's why I feel so bad about boats money, to be honest.
So we understand. So, but then again, we have to understand that Johan Blake is not just representing his country. It's also his job. It's how he makes a living.
Yeah, so, and I don't think representing Jamaica benefits athletes out here anyways. They get more job opportunities internationally as opposed to their own homeland. All we do is just have on the t-shirts and scream and post on Twitter, Babsy Grage, and say, yeah, go Jamaica. But after that, it's crickets. I don't think there's a system out here in place to truly support the athletes to a degree where, they would truly want to pursue and stay here to carry on with their career with certain things. So yeah, that's sad. Other countries, when they do one thing, them get a house, them kids taken care of, them grandkids taken care of. I mean, just saying, but yeah.
Knock. I can't say about the meeting now.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
All right, awesome. So the next section that we have for tonight is our last section, guys. But it's always our juicy section. It's always our juicy section or confession story time. Woo!
I'm nervous already.
Yeah. First confession. Confession, I'm a helper and I sleep with my boss for extra pay. Let's get into it.
The first confession, so like a share work overtime.
Are you sure this isn't from an after dark programming?
What do you mean? All right, continuing. So I'm 35 years old. I am 35 years old and I'm working as a helper for a very rich couple. They have a nice family with 2 teenage sons and a 10-year-old daughter. Sometimes the wife travels overseas and stays away for months. I've been working here for over 3 years now, and I've never really felt like a helper because they all treat me with respect. Cool. So she's treated well. Let's see what that gets the wife. My confession is that I'm having sex with the husband for extra money. When he first approached me, I was hesitant. It was one of those times when his wife was away. I thought about it and then agreed because I knew I needed the help. I'm a married woman as well, and I have a daughter to take care of. Simply put, I needed the money. My husband is a mason, and most of the time he doesn't get any work, so the pressure is on me mostly to maintain the family. To be honest, if my husband and I were the only ones in the household, I would have dismissed this suggestion, but I needed the extra money to support my child. So for now, my duties are washing, cooking, cleaning, taking care of their kids, and taking care of his needs in the bedroom. He has a high sex drive, and I have to please him almost every day as long as his wife is not around. And sometimes I feel drained, but I'm being paid a pretty good amount of money, so that is enough motivation for me to push through. What do you guys think? We have 4 more confessions to get. So if we're going to talk about this, we've got to keep it concise, get to the point. Fernando, your hand is raised for this section or the previous one?
This one. She get
Someone
paid.
said in the comments that she's a prostitute, but she's not. She's a helper. She's helping in multiple ways. She's being compensated to help. She's helping. Go ahead, Fernando.
No, you see why? Wow, this is loaded. All right, so I'm gonna summarize this now. Well, me can't even comment.
You can't summarize that long past.
You can't summarize this. She married. What?
She's also a mother. She has to provide for her child.
But she cheat on her husband.
But the husband now work and she have to pay the bills. Never ask her how she get the money.
So that means
Dalvin said toxic femininity.
Cool.
So wait, the husband does not work? He's a stay-at-home
He said he's
dad?
a mason. So you know them construction people, they work and gonna work and yeah.
So
she said that she did say that if it was just her and her husband, she wouldn't do it. But because she really needs the money to provide for her child, that's why she does it.
So all right. So are you ladies going to justify her cheating on her husband?
We never say we're just this is a confession. We're talking about her.
Under no circumstances would I justify. And if you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Wrong, right, you're right.
Turn on the fire. But ladies, we're not gonna justify. Where were we justifying? Everybody is digesting the story like you.
Okay.
That's a nice way. That was a soft one to start off with, guys. Let's get into the real
stuff. All right, yes. Let's keep it.
Okay. We have 2 videos here. This one, guys. Ooh. All right, these 2. Listen. Ooh, when I found them, I was considering if I should really bring this tea here. The tea is boiling so till it can't be all in the kettle. All right, let's go.
Dear sisters, I have been a side chick to my friend's husband for 3 years. She doesn't suspect a thing because she's very gullible, not very smart, and a school dropout as well. In fact, she hasn't suspected a thing all these years and goes ahead to tell me all of her family problems, and I just pretend to care. She once told me they were having financial problems at home and asked me to loan her 4,000 cedis. I simply texted her husband and asked for the money. He sent me 5,000 immediately and I loaned her 4,000, which she paid back over 3 months. Our man gives me everything I want because I'm the kind of woman he wants. I'm educated, beautiful, a powerful corporate woman, and above all, I know how to pamper a man. I am very attentive to his needs and I nurture his ambition. She barely contributes to anything, can't help him progress, and is a housewife who doesn't even cook well. I am pregnant now and she's very excited, as though she was the one expecting. She has secretly asked our man for money to organize a baby shower to surprise me. The guy told me about it and he's actually cool with it. However, I don't think my conscience will allow me let her organize a baby shower for her own husband's baby. I don't want to stop my relationship with her husband. In fact, I plan on being his second wife. I just feel bad that she's planning this without knowing that I am her co-wife. I just want to tell her to stop the baby shower.
Can I just say, I love how this lady was like, or man. She never say her man, like the next woman man. She say, or man. She's, I'm having a baby for or man. The
So
or, as if the wife knows about this or, as if it's some agreement that it's a team effort. The or was so strong and confident. Let's talk about it. let's let's talk about it. Also, her conscience. Her conscience will allow her to be with her best friend man and even have a child for him. But her best friend planning the baby shower is where she draws the line. That's where. That is where she draws the line. Cool. Go ahead, Fernando.
So, yes, so I can say women are wicked.
Absolutely not. I think you
No, you
guys
can't
just go
generalize.
to that whenever
No, you
there's
can't
anything.
generalize.
I think you really want to prove that theory because whomever hurt you she's just, you can't get rid of her, sir. You just can't get rid of her.
Where is her loyalty to her friend?
Where's the husband loyalty to his wife?
Amen. Why are you blaming her alone? As if the husband don't have a role to play.
He is the one who is married. She's not married. She can do what she wants. He's the one who's
it's our
married.
best friend still, but
That's our best friend still. That part is,
both of them are
but
wrong.
he's the one that's married.
But then it's true though. The husband did make a vow. Friendship, friendship.
Right.
Thing, but not say rape.
The husband make a vow before man and God and decide
we
to
agree.
To me, the two closest people in our life do something like that. Oh my God! If she find out, I hope she not have pressure problem. Because if she find out, she gone.
But you see, it goes to show neither of them really cares about the friend. The husband doesn't care about his wife, and the friend doesn't care about her so-called friend. I always say, you see, if you're used to being bad or whatnot, you sleep peacefully at night. You ever do something to a friend or you have a disagreement or your partner and it just rests on you, you really don't feel comfortable until you have that talk because you probably said something you shouldn't have said and you feel really guilty about it. You wake up, it's still on your mind and you're not going to feel at ease until you speak to that person. When you do these levels of just terribleness, I'm going to use Fernando's word, wickedness, you understand? I mean, neither of them care. They really don't care about her. And I also believe she is kind of, I don't know how she don't see some kind of sign or, that's crazy to me as well.
She could be really sheltered and gullible. Some people are like that, no? Them just really sheltered and gullible.
The level of betrayal she's going to feel towards her best friend. Remember, this is her best friend. She might be going through things with her husband and she's bringing it to this best friend. And this best friend sleeping with her husband.
But how low is that? It goes to show he's not even catering to his wife because she's in need of $4,000 and she went to her friend as opposed to her husband. And on top of it, the friend got interest on top of the $4,000 that she requested. So out of her friend's request, she gained $1,000.
So again, this is not the husband confession, it's the best friend confession, and we will stay with it at the best friend.
Even if it's the best friend confession,
that's not a best friend though. That's not a best friend though.
Like that. The two of them involved. Just because it's the best friend confess, if me kill somebody and you kill them with me confess to the police, you still kill them with me. I'm just saying.
Right. You're
even though the best friend confess, the husband still involved. It's pertaining to him.
We agree.
It can't come out.
I agree.
And the husband is the one who took the vows.
I agree.
But they both took vows.
I'm taking it from my perspective, right? Let me just, if any of my friends would go behind my back, or if I should go behind my friend's back and to pursue his girl. That's very low.
You don't see the lady playing the game. How low can I go?
All right, and it's tricky, Okay, so what if you are attracted to your friend's girlfriend, right? You understand that she's off limits. They had a breakup, and your friend has moved on, and she's now an ex. Would you consider? I'm not saying officially involve yourself. Would you consider dating her or trying to get into a serious relationship? Remember, this is someone you have strong feelings for. Your friend has no idea about this. You think this person is the girl of your dreams. You've had a lot of idea of her characteristics, her personality. For her, her flaws are 10 out of 10. Her being perfect is 10 out of 10. When she popped out, she 10 out of 10. Would you really would you consider dating her?
No. God would have to create another soulmate for me.
Okay.
Especially if my friend have somewhat of, or have even an inch or a sun grain of feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear from Chantel, then Imani. So, go ahead, Chantel.
Awesome. So this scenario is very close to home for me because while I'm not married, I did experience it where my college boyfriend and my college best friend did hook up, right? Now, my situation was men will be men, and I'm not justifying men cheating or anybody cheating, men or female cheating. I'm not justifying it, right? But if a guy girlfriend cheats on him, he's going to go to his best friend to vent, and it's similar for a female. So for me, when the person who I'm supposed to go to vent or to talk to or to seek that counsel from is the guilty party as well, that's very conflicting. And for me, I was more disappointed in her than him. Not because I'm justifying men anything, but just because you're supposed to be my friend. You're supposed to have my back. You're supposed to be my ride or die. Yes, he's supposed to be a husband and he promised you all of this, but it's different when your friends betray you than when your significant other betray you. So for me, I think we could have forgive her. Like, I could see him if we had kids together and possibly talk to him for the purpose of our kids or whatever. But she dead to me. Like, she honestly dead to me. Like, I don't even want to hear her name. I don't want, like, if she see me on a bus, she need to come out of the bus. Like, that's how much I hate her. Like, nah.
You tapped into something there.
But the PR bus here, what you mean?
No, I was saying, Shanae, she tapped into something there about the friendship. I was having conversation the other day with someone about that whole friend thing. When you get involved with someone and they say, well, they have their best friend and it's a female and it's nothing. It's nothing. We're kosher. We're friends. It's nothing. You're like, okay, cool. You're not really pressing upon it at that point. It's still fresh in the relationship. 6 months has surpassed. Another 6 months has surpassed. And all of a sudden, this best friend now becomes someone that you were interested in once upon a time. Another 7 months pass. Another 4 months pass. And then this best friend becomes somebody that, you had kind of tried to pursue and, she never really sure at the time. But yet still, why he tells you those one drop information, he's trying to convince you that nothing is happening there. And probably he himself is even trying to convince himself that there's no longer any feelings there. And that's just what it is. But unfortunately, it doesn't always happen. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes he really ends up stepping out with that best friend, unfortunately. So people just ensure if your partner really does have a best friend, it's important to really try to get a feel of what this relationship is and not be naive about him texting her morning, noon, and night, or him texting her always on her lunch break, so just be mindful of that. Be very mindful of that, because she might still be hung up on him.
Again, I'm triggered by that because my best friend is a male who is engaged, right? We text every day, all day, from daylight till night. But our conversation is something that his fiance can look at, and she can even read and reply to me if she want, because our
Right.
convo is very platonic. It's not sexual or
Yeah, and
anything
that's
like
fine.
that.
I'm not saying it's with
Yeah.
everyone. I'm just saying, you understand? I'm just saying there's a lot of times where the woman will really say, okay, no problem. You can have, if I can have male friends, you can have woman friends. Of course, no problem. You understand? But there are certain tones in a conversation that can indicate that something is somewhat stepping over the line, whether it's the playful toneness of the conversation. It just really depends. But I'm not saying it goes for everybody. It's just some people. And some people would be friends with someone, and deep down they really have feelings for them. And some part of them really hope that them catch on to them have feelings for them. So if he moves in towards me to kiss me, I'm going to kiss him back. Because I've been fawning over you for 8 years, and you've been with this girl for like 10 years. So I'm saying there is these kind of situations that take place. Not all the time people like to have an open and honest conversation about it, because it means that this person that they call their friend, the type of engagement they have with this friend is still a little bit too intimate. And bear in mind, guys, intimacy doesn't always mean sexual, because you have some people that feel if one partner cheats, it more hurts them if they even hear that kissing was involved. Because for some people, kissing is so intimate, even more so than the act. So there's just a lot of layers to this conversation, guys. So I was just kind of putting that out there. But yeah, that's it.
I think we also have to bear in mind that I get that not everybody is going to be forthcoming with their feelings and what's happening, but we also have to try to be cognizant of how or significant other or how our friends behave. Because for me, how I knew my friend and my boyfriend at the time were doing stuff was both of them were acting weird. Like I'm very detailed to the point where I'm like, you don't normally wake up this hour, you don't normally behave this way, you don't normally answer your phone like that. And those were the little cues that I saw that made me realize that something was wrong. And then I used my head to basically say, oh, I know what you do. That's all I said. I know what you do. And they confess their sins, right? So sometimes we want to be trusting, we want to believe every single thing that people say to us, which is what we like to call people naive and gullible. But you have to be cognizant of people's trends, their patterns, the way they react to things, like when you see them get withdrawn or whatever. Also, in a relationship, when you're in a relationship with a significant other, I'm a firm believer that what happens in a relationship don't need to go to my friends. Like, yes, we're best friends, but what happened in my relationship is not coming
Off
to you. Like, every
limits.
single
I
thing
agree.
is not coming to you. Like
I
the very
agree.
basic minor things I may tell you about,
And
but
males,
I am
males
never
in the
going to tie
chat,
that to you.
sorry to interrupt you, Shanae, there, but this goes for males in the chat as well. Even though you may have a close best friend or a couple of best friends, it's not everything you relate to your male friends about your partner. Certain things are just too intimate. And if you want to create a space for your partner who you love unconditionally, where whatever we do in this room sexually, it's between us. If you want to create that safe kind of space, if she just gets a feeling that somebody will like to just tell your friend and everything, and even as something simple or something where she might don't think say really go tell your friend, and you tell your friend, she's not going to be as open in the bedroom. And a lot of males don't even know that is one of the most top reasons why they cannot get a female to respond how they want them to respond in the bedroom, because they see how they communicate with their friends, and they just get a feeling that you're them too loosely with how things are, And I have been around people who say they're best friends, and I have seen how they interact. And I rub my eye, I take the hand towel, I wet the hot towel, I snap my eye, because I wonder if I look in properly. They are drinking from the same orange juice. Yes? Oh, here, you want some orange juice? Yeah, drink some orange juice. I don't believe if you're in your male and you're in a relationship, even if you've known your friend, you've known her from 5th grade, fine. Una really like that brother and sister, but I don't believe if you're drinking from an orange juice, you should hand it to her and she should drink it from the orange juice. You're swapping spit right there. Miss
All
Shanae?
right. Thank you.
Miss
We have
Shanae?
one hand raised. So go ahead, Dalvin.
Well, it's basically the same thing that someone just highlighted I wanted to say now. Really and truly, when you think about it, sometimes women talk too much about their relationship. Every little thing they need to post about it and tell their friend. And if them praise the guy with them do it all along, you know. But them think I go happen the minute they may not tell them friends something bad I go on, right? The friend now see an opportunity, and a lot of females supposed to realize this already. And if they don't realize it, they're supposed to soon start. A lot of your friends, they don't really like you. All of them just can't talk to you because, you know, you probably have this friendship going for a while now, and I'm afraid to let go. No have no arguments on a regular. I'm afraid to let go. So to me, it's best to just cut off certain people and overall share certain relationship things. Well, not about the relationship, and don't post it neither.
And Fernando, I'm going to add to that point.
Dalvin.
I think,
Dalvin.
oh, it's Davin? Davin? Oh, okay. My apologies. I'm sorry, who was talking a while ago?
Dalvin.
Dalvin.
Oh, shoot, I forgot my point. Okay. I had a really good point, you know. I had a really good point, but just...
Sham, your pen
okay,
Dalvin, is your cause Dalvin?
All right,
Sorry.
guys. It's a wonderful topic, but we do have more confessions, so we can't pour out our hearts on just one. We have a next one up. And for the next one, I want the ladies them to listen. Because as Fernando so loudly and clearly said from the two examples, is it safe to say women are wicked? So let's listen to the next confession and see what we can surmise. Listen, let us listen to the next confession and see what we can surmise. All right then. Gonna play it now, guys. So we can mute up for the self so we can hear the audio.
Put a finger down if the Miami-Dade Police Department calls you and tells you that they have recovered your husband's body and he is dead by apparent suicide. So you and your family plan his funeral, and everyone is shocked that this happened. But you're on bad terms with your ex-husband's family, so you stay in California and they stay in Florida while they plan the funeral. And you don't go to the services in Florida because his family said it'd be way too traumatic if you were to show up because you guys were on bad terms because you were in the middle of a divorce with your husband. So throughout this entire process, you talk to a coroner's office, you talk to a funeral home, you make arrangements, you even pay for things. And you believe that on January 22nd, your husband took his life, and it is now March. And you spend months grieving, and you even think about unaliving yourself because you feel like you're the one that did it. And one day you go on live on TikTok and someone tells you to check your DMs because they have information regarding your husband. And you open the DM only to find out that your husband is not only alive, but he is living in Mexico with his mistress of 6 years, who he's been having an affair with.
All right, let me just say, is it safe to say, guys, that man are wicked? Since it takes one person to judge the masses. But that's all. I'm just asking. Is it safe to say man are wicked?
Question. Since we planned the funeral already, can we still bury him?
Can still dirt him, of
That
course.
makes
Why
sense.
not?
Okay, because me planned the funeral already, you know, so him I go bury.
You know what I wonder though, if his family knew, because you know if somebody's pronounced dead and whatever, like I feel like it needs certain type of evidence to show to the person dead, you know. As well as I'm like they're going to inform the family too, or inform you and inform the family. I'm like, the family are weird, and if they are weird, I'm aware of him double life, or they just think he's dead too. And what was his end goal? To just die and run away with wife number 2 and just don't come back.
Which part of the body there? It's suicide. Which part of the body there?
They never say suicide because I never hear suicide.
Yeah, they said suicide, but the thing is, because she was divorcing him, she wasn't allowed to go to the funeral per se. So she
But
never really sees it. No funeral, no keep. Bunch
But
of
then
these.
also, what if it's a lie? Suppose they just get somebody for call or sit to her or say whatever.
More than likely, that's what they did because for a funeral home
So
to
we
call
keep
you, you
set
need
up
to have a
people.
death certificate. They actually need to have an actual body. And if he had life insurance or anything like that, that would be like insurance fraud, which is like
Yeah,
criminal
but
offense.
if she take out the insurance, not knowing same not really dead, she da wrong.
No, but the insurance company will come back for the money.
And then they might not even know that she never knows, so they might think that she in on it too, don't you?
They don't care. They're coming back for the money in
No, I
full. So
know, but
whatever
I'm saying they
then
couldn't
it's
they
done.
come back
You better,
couldn't they come back and try and charge her because wouldn't they need proof that she never involved, which is not their proof to get it, her
And
proof.
if the family was in on it, the family might have said she knew him run off with the woman, and
Exactly.
because
Put all the blame on her.
there's a lot, yeah.
But then again, suicide not have the insurance, so no
Yes, it does.
insurance.
Yes, it does.
Really?
It does.
Which
Yeah,
insurance does?
I can tell you that now. Sagicor no honors suicide, I think. Yeah, because I did check it out, you know.
What about Guardian?
I mean,
I'm not sure.
suicide
I'm
as
not
a
sure.
say only makes sense.
I
It
said
only makes
pharmacy.
sense.
Thank you for sharing.
But my take on this is, yeah, the man there are wicked. Because, like, and then again, the wife, like, why she care? Like, she already got divorced him.
That's not how emotions
Oh,
work, sir. Just because you and somebody break
Yeah.
up, never me, never have a connection with them. Like you finding out that they're dead, that's a lot to take in. Even if
I see my
you know,
divorce.
no, even if you're divorcing, it's just like breaking up with somebody. Divorce is a marriage. Like so you got married, you have to officially do it on paper. If you were with a girl for whatever reason, we were with her, you had highs, you might have had lows, but you had highs. If it wasn't a case where she tried to kill you or is them kind of break up, if it's just a regular breakup, it now work out, move on. You're not gonna be like, oh, she's dead. She's dead. Whoa ho, think crazy. It's still gonna be something to take in.
So
And I've
They're
seen
in the
stories
process
like
of a
on IG.
divorce.
I've seen stories on IG where this guy was saying that he and his girlfriend broke up, and every month he books her lash. She have a lash business, and every month he book out all her appointments for her to think that she's busy, and then nobody show up, right? And it's similar. It's similar to that. Like she's leaving him, and he just doesn't know how to process it. So he's like, okay, let me fake my death to see what she gain though, and or maybe when I fake my death, I can get a little money out of her or whatever. So it's really him not knowing how to handle his emotion, which goes back to the toxic
no, the
masculinity
man
topic,
just never
right?
want to pay the alimony.
I
But
don't think
they're in the process of a divorce. Why?
It is so.
Why do this?
The video they said them I got through one divorce.
No, the video said that they were on bad terms, not going through a divorce.
Them just decide to scam you,
Come to
why?
conclusion.
Just
See?
replay the video. Just
Play the
replay the
video.
just to make sure.
That-
Just
Why not
Hold on.
divorce her instead of do all of that? Why not just divorce her?
Well,
Because-
why men cheat all the time in marriages? You know, I don't know why I say it. So men
Yeah,
are in
but this time him
relationships and they
actually
cheat.
run
Hold
off,
on.
pretend
Men are in
dead. So might as well
relationships
him
and they
divorce
cheat.
her.
Men are married and they cheat. Some men don't want to leave the first person. Some men have this mentality of you're mine. Even if I don't really want you, I don't want nobody else obviously. You're mine. Mega hold on fire just becoming the one nobody else get here for you move on from me, even though I don't want you. Some
But
men,
in this
not
sense,
all.
he's dead.
If,
In this sense, he's dead.
him can't divorce her if him
That
dead.
not even make no sense.
But
Because
him can't
he's
divorce her
dead.
if him dead. Him can't divorce her if him dead. Remember, this is just
Right,
what they
so she can
told
move
her.
on.
This
So
is just
she
what they
can
told
move
her.
on.
This is just what they told her. Who knows what their end goal was? Well, let me hear from Dalvin and then I'll play the video.
Wow.
Go ahead, Dalvin.
So two things, right? And this is why I said earlier in I chat, we need to hear the man's side of the story first. The first thing is, y'all talk about equality all night now. Men fee start be toxic and all these things. Suppose this woman was abusing the man. The poor man could have been abused and was forced to run away. No one thought of that. Y'all are blaming him for something that you haven't heard his side of the story on. Okay? The second
How
thing.
come you never ask for the other man's side of the story? I don't understand this. When the man is in the wrong, we must hear inside the story. When the best friend and the other man did a cheat, nobody never need to hear that side of the story though. When the helper have sex with the boy, the husband, well, I
Because
don't
the
nobody never need
husband
to hear
never
that
did
side of the
carry
story
no
though.
money.
I just not understand how that come in about hearing the other side of the story. So far, we've been talking about the information that we have. Cool. That's all we've been talking about. And then to say no, that, oh, well, you never asked for their side of the story. We have not been asking for any other side. We've just been speculating based on what we see. It means it's the sky blue. I can't be like, man, you hear about the sky, the other side of the sky story. Me, I talk about what me I see in front of me. I'm just making observations based on what is presented. That is all that's going on.
They should
For
have the Rumour Runner then.
no.
Yeah, and
For your
Some persons in the
stand,
chat are
for your
saying
stand,
Everybody just
let
attack
me
your
finish,
youth.
guys. When you guys speak, I let you speak. I listen, I quiet, and I just, or you saying that he could have been abused or whatever. Fear. That is a fear possibility. We don't know. I'm not sure what him did expect to happen from him faking his death, though. Only because when you fake your death, she's not just gonna be like, "Oh, he's dead. Move on." As your wife, she's gonna want proof. And clearly they didn't provide the proof. She just got the information that he was dead. She tried to start out everything, right? So unless you go fake every single thing, forgive her, and then completely stay, even if he was being abused and he might try and move away and whatever, he would have put things well.
Probably.
I'm assuming that he would have put things in place to a point where she not hear back about him. Most of the times in abuse situations, the victims, once they're moving away from their abuser, they know that can incite more anger or violence or control. So when they try to even move, they try to do it like as properly and as well thought out as possible, so that them not have no, whatever repercussion, like being found out and being found again and possibly being abused even worse than they were before.
Hold on there. My second point, right? Based on the actual evidence now. Now, say them have some problem, right? Now, if them have some problem, then they on bad terms, they might get divorced. This man probably make the same mistake when most people get when them get married and don't sign a prenup. And this man realize that probably he might go have to pay this woman a bag of money. Now, can't wrong the man to cut. If it's cheating, can't understand that. Now, I can't understand that. I'm say that clearly. It's wrong. Okay? Okay,
You
don't
know
kill
where
me.
we miss? The part of
Oh,
the
God.
conversation where we miss? This gentleman has been cheating for 6 years.
Which is
We
right.
miss that important point.
He's been abused, remember?
I must make an addition to
No.
that.
Hold on,
sorry.
before we make our
Yeah.
addition, hold on, guys, hold on. Michaela Williams, you said that there's a next part to this where the husband replies. If you're comfortable opening your mic and telling us so we can, catch up, we'd love to hear the next side that you saw. And then we can, continue discussing from there. So there's a next side where the husband replies. What did he say?
Yes, he did reply. And saying that his ex-wife, no, the girl that posted the video, that she's crazy because her mother helped him fake his death to get out of the marriage with her. And it went on to her replying back to him, and it went all over the place, honestly. But if you want to check it out, it's on Publicer, so you can find it.
Where?
Oh, a TikTok user called Publicer. Like, he linked two videos together, so he played them side to side, and you see the reaction from both of them.
Wait a second, Publicer.
Yes, Publicer.
Publicer. Try find it. Continue talking, guys.
Yeah, guys, always look at the because that's what I was about to say. Even though she's coming public and saying these things, she may very well be the crazy one, and she just wants to make him look bad because he wanted out of the relationship, and he could have mentioned several times that he wanted out of the relationship. So we never know. But what I know about these TikTok users as well, not all the stories that are shown on there are real, no matter how real of a depiction it looks. Sometimes they really hire friends and so on just to pretend that certain, to make it look real. Because there have been a couple where it's trended all over TikTok And then probably after the hype has died down and 6-7 weeks later, they come out and say, oh yeah, that was just a friend. I just paid this person to do so and so. So you have to be careful with TikTok as to what may look a little bit too outrageous, what may look like it was rehearsed. And there's a lot of that as well, because everybody's looking to gain traction on TikTok. So some people use a more strategic approach as opposed to it just being real and natural. So just bear that in mind as well.
So your girl went and your girl found the video with the husband. So your girl's gonna be sharing that because we need the full tea. Since there's an exciting story as we've come to discover. All right, the video is loading. Someone can see.
So I didn't want to do this. I don't have any social media. My name is Tim, and I'm Anessa's ex-husband. I did not fake my own death. I mean, even to hear that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. But I'm alive and well. Thank you. So I'm gonna break this down a little bit. I'm not gonna go crazy because, again, I don't do this. I'm 41 years old. I don't feed into drama and bullshit like this. This is crazy to me. But I found out from my ex-mother-in-law, Anessa's mom, that I was dead. And the way this went is, okay, so I asked for a divorce from Anessa because we were in Miami and supposedly her mother was in a coma for months, okay? And after I continually, or like, oh, you need to go see your mom. Like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on here? Now I feel stupid because I know that her mother was never in a coma. Never. So when her mother called me, she was checking on to see if I was alive because Anessa told her that I committed suicide, right? So I said, I see her mom's number on my phone and I'm like, what the? I pick up. She goes, oh my God, Timmy, are you okay? I said, am I okay? I said, I'm great. I honestly, I thought you were dead. I mourned you. I was sad for you because I thought you died. You know what I mean? I said, I haven't been in contact with your daughter because she's out of her mind and I don't want nothing to do with her. But she's like, a coma? I was never in a coma, Tim. What are you talking about? Like, I've never been healthier. And I said, well, your daughter told me you were in a coma. And that's why, like, I realized that, oh my gosh. I mean, if my mother had a broken leg, I'd hitchhike across the United States of America to be by her bed. And your mother's in a coma, and you won't even go to Miami. I mean, you won't even go to California to see her. It sickened me. But that's the type of person she is, okay? So, in this conversation, I asked her, I said, okay, so if you weren't in a coma, I gotta ask some questions to you now because, I'm questioning everything. Everything I've ever been told. Because I don't know, maybe I'm naive, maybe I'm stupid, but, when it's somebody that is close to you like that, you kind of believe things that they say, right? You give them the benefit of the doubt. So I asked, I said, okay, now, Anessa has a scar, a bad scar on her stomach, right? I said, what is that scar from? And she said, don't tell me that she told you that story too. And my heart dropped. And I said, what story is that? She goes, you know what story it is. And I said, the story that she was raped, that she was kidnapped and raped and brought to San Francisco in a cabin, and that she jumped off a balcony, broke both of her legs, and while she jumped, the guy sliced her stomach open. That's how she got that scar. Is that the story you're talking about? She said, Tim, you're not the first person she told that story to. It's complete bullshit. She went to San Francisco to go hang out with some dude, sleep with some dude. She was mad because the guy said that he had a nice car and a nice apartment, and that wasn't the truth. So she got pissed off and we had to fly her home. So she makes this story up. The scar is from a tummy tuck, Tim. I'm like, oh my God, how do you lie about something like that? How do you lie about something like that? So I said, okay, so let's keep going with this then. 2 years ago, your ex-husband, Pete, he's a LAPD officer, correct? I said, was he in a coma? Because I was told he was shot 3 times outside of a courthouse, and he was in a coma for a couple months. And Anessa was the conservator of his will. She said, my ex-husband's never been shot. He's healthy. Never happened. She goes, okay, Tim, so I'm going to add to that. I got one better for you. She goes, just a couple weeks ago, Anessa said to her mother, Mom, sit down. I got to tell you something. Dad died of cancer. Her mother goes, I'm friends with your father, and your father doesn't have cancer, and he's alive. I saw him last week. I mean, it doesn't end. The lies, it doesn't end. Oh, another thing. I'm not a pro boxer. Never been a pro boxer. Didn't even fight Golden Gloves. I box, okay? And I have friends that are very good athletes that I trained with. That's where it ends. Can I throw my hands around? Sure. I've boxed my whole life. I've hit bags and I've trained with people. I'm not a pro boxer. Why would she even say that? I have no idea. Right? What, are you ashamed of what I do? I'm a project manager. 20 years. That's what I've been doing since I'm a kid. I'm a project manager in restoration and commercial roofing. That's what I do. I've traveled around the country. I've done it all over the place. That's what I do. That's my career. Not a boxer. Okay? Not in the cannabis industry either. Nope.
All right. That was a lot. Yeah.
Well, somehow Wayne died some way, maybe it's in her mind,
That makes sense.
Ashley, go ahead.
Okay, so my take on this is before you guys played the video, you guys had some really good questions. How come she didn't have a body? And so forth. I guess this kind of just answered your question because she made it up. Like, she's a pathological liar. Then again, I can't even say that because you guys say TikTok is fake. This is just crazy. That's
Yeah, but not only that, you have some people who come up with these outrageous stories because they just want to garner some attention. And you do have some who has true stories, but they manipulate that story to come across one way, and then the other party has to come out and defend themselves. So I think when you get used to how people lie on TikTok and what is true, you're able to more decipher what might go so or what might don't go so. But yes, some people will do anything for fame on top of it, even making somebody look absolutely horrible. I don't know why they do it, but they do.
Yeah, because I've heard of it
She's
before.
lying, right? She wasn't asked this question publicly or anything. So I'm just wondering, if she's lying, why would you post it? Like, I understand lying to your friends, because unless a friend tell the next friend, them not gonna know. Why you gonna come online and tell a lie when the person can come debunk your lie? If you're really gonna tell a lie, like you gonna come online. Nobody asked you until tell a lie. We do have one more confession for the night, guys, so we can't really linger on this point. The next 2 hands, if I take you, it's going to be 40 seconds that you get to speak. So let me know if you still want to go. If I take you, it's 40 seconds on the clock.
Not even 10 seconds, man. I got that.
Go ahead, Dalvin.
Woman are wicked.
All right, Fernando. Oh, I mean, Dalvin, my bad.
Yeah, he needs to cut a remix song on that because seriously.
All right, go ahead, Imani. Your time's running. As soon as it starts.
I believe none of them. I just believe that it's our made up story because TikTok is a drug and people do anything for fame. Amen.
Thank you. I'll wait to get to the point. Amen. We have one more section, guys, for the confession. It kind of have 6 parts. I want you guys to listen to it with an open mind. Do not generalize the information, please. Somebody made this post We're all going to analyze it, male and female alike. So we'll have the first half of it read by our PRO, Imani, and the second half by Kerry.
So this is a thread from the Lover's Guide. It says, women don't like nice guys. Here's 6 reasons why. Number 1, you're the prize. When you're a nice guy, you automatically start to give her too many compliments. There's a clear sign that you're into her, but that's also a clear sign that she could say one word and you're all hers. 0 work or effort. You are that easy. She wants to work hard for you and win the prize. She wants to be rewarded, not gifted. Number 2, low confidence. Nice guys usually look shy and uncomfortable in their skin. Women tend to like jerks more because they make their arrogance and egoism with confidence. They mistake, which only tells you that you should work hard on yourself and on your opinion of yourself. Don't give her Mr. Shy Guy vibes. It will repulse her. Number 3, feminine vibes. When you're thinking about manners, your girlfriend needs to have niceness. Niceness comes in one of those 5 places, right? Because it is ladylike to act nice. It gives feminine, innocent, and pure vibes. And women are attracted to masculine men who are strong, powerful, and even arrogant. But they're very self-aware and successful, which didn't come to them by being nice. Number 4, weak performance in bed. Women love men who know how to take the lead in bed and aren't afraid of being rough. Women are weaker, but not fragile. Being all nice and gentle towards her won't satisfy her how you think it will. Don't be afraid to take lead. A nice guy will make her feel like she's the one who's the boss in bed. She wants a powerful man to take care of her in the way a nice guy will never be able to. Number 5, best friends for life. The first thing a woman looks for in her friends is for them to be nice. She wants a best friend to tell her all kinds of things such as, you have such pretty hair, I love your name, your smile is so beautiful. She wants to hear compliments from her man, but doesn't want him to make it a big deal. When a nice guy does it, she feels like he's running after her. The more you chase a cat, the further it will run. 6th and final, lack of purpose. When you're a nice guy, you will probably make her the main focus of your day, or even your life. Whatever she asks you to do, you will do it because you're such a nice guy. But the more you do it, the more she realizes you have nothing else to do with your life. A man who has a purpose will put his woman aside, not make her the center of his world. She wants an ambitious man who will be working hard on his success. A nice guy would only care about winning her, which is repulsive.
So now, before I open the mic to start speaking, I just want to know, from a female perspective, if you're in agreement or a disagreement, or you agree with some portions of what was said. From a male perspective, do you think this guide is fair, is justifiable? Yeah. So raise your hands, guys. That's how we're going. Raise your hands, raise your hands, raise your hands, raise your hands. Go ahead, Ashley.
All right. So out of these 6 points, only one I agree with. Before I get to the one that I agree with, this just practically confuses a male right now who is looking to want to start dating a female. Because females be like to some men, "Oh, you're not showing me any attention. You're not showing me any love. When you watch a movie or anything, the lady does her female does her hair for a man. If don't compliment her, oh, you don't care about me. You don't see me. I'm invisible. You don't love me." Only to come and see this when your man compliments you. "Oh my God, baby, you're beautiful. You smell nice. You have a new perfume. Oh, you're so cute." That not make no sense. No, really confusing. Ladies, y'all are confusing. Now, the part with performance in bed. I got to agree with that. I'm saying, from a point of view, me personally think that the male should be dominant and, take control in the bedroom. That's just me. But other than that, ladies, stop confusing the men.
Thank you. I do think the way that it was spoken was kind of controversial in the sense of, women have different tastes in different guys. That's why dating pool is so diverse. No one woman, like one female, her standards and preference in a guy does not speak for all females right across the board. And it's the same for guys. So I think this was very general because some of the things she's saying is a no other females would want and seek out. So I don't think this is a fair assessment just because it speaks from such a general sense as if there's only one narrative to the story. Go ahead, Fernando.
I don't believe when she says a man who has a purpose will put his woman aside. She will still be there, right? And the thing about men is that even though his ambition is like the world he created, she will be, I won't say at the center, but somewhat close to the center of that world, right? So I'm not like, how to put this? Yeah, I agree in a sense where, and you can't be nice. Nice guy just not gonna work. You can't just be 100% for her. You see me? Because at the end of the day, she wants. I would say that majority of girls they're not looking for an equal because women are adaptive. So they tend to date up. And seeing that women are just as ambitious as men, they would want a superior. So in that regard, a man has to have purpose. He can't just stay home all day, every day, and just not doing anything. That will get boring to her. So I agree in that sense, but however, you're gonna know, say when you're gone, you're taking care of business. If you just did it and then you just get up, she gonna suspect like, where you gone? You always there here. And that's my take.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Mr. Moda.
All right. Where do I start? She raised a lot of, I wouldn't say points, but her views are a little bit alarming to me. One of the first ones I noticed is where she talked about the chase. You understand? Now, let me first say there's a difference between the healthy chase when a man is chasing a woman in comparison to a man chasing a woman in a desperate manner that doesn't make him look good. Now, as a set of species, it's in a man's nature. Males are the hunter. So it's in their nature to hunt a female. But when it's said in that way, for some female, it may sound a way, but no, don't take it that way. That's why I said there's a healthy way of showing your interest in a female. The whole hunting stage, it comprises of trying to get to know her, letting her know what you can offer in terms of values. If you want to put your financials in there, fine. You're showing her that you're serious about, your interests and so on. That's a healthy type of chase. A bad type of chase now is when what would you call it now? It's where it's like he's ringing down her phone, him out her office every day, morning, noon, and night, just in different kind of ways that it is done. So that's one of my points. The other one that really threw me off was where she was speaking about the bed. And she likes a man that is intense and takes control of so on. And I'm like, that's not true. Because a relationship is about compromise and meeting a middle ground. And the truth of the matter is, when you're in a relationship, it's important to communicate, find out what each other like. What I may into, you may not be into, but we won't know until we really speak about it. Because what happens a lot of the times, couples get together, they're in the middle of having their intercourse. They have not enjoyed it for whatever reason. They're a little bit shy about opening to their partner, vice versa. You'd be surprised. So in the end, it's not a great experience, but neither of them are willing to voice that. That actually makes your relationship run down the drain quicker than Usain Bolt, because you guys are not being open, you're not communicating, and you really don't know what each other are into. So how is the man going to know, say, if him choke you halfway to death, that's what you're into? No, the man is not going to know that. If she is supposed to say to him, guess what, I'm in a little bit of, restricting and whatever, is that really okay? You're just slightly, nothing too intense. You have to talk about what you are into. And that is another problem, because as the female, imagine if you like a gentle form of lovemaking and the man just want like him and go kill you and stifle you to death. You're not gonna like that. You're gonna be turned off. So communication is really the key when it comes to what y'all like and what y'all don't like. Now, my last thing that stood out to me was when she was talking about the compliment. She said a woman don't like to be too complimented. And I'm like, what? Absolutely not. If you're dating somebody that you are into and you love them and they're very much into you as you are into them, it doesn't matter how many compliments you give her. She's going to just flow into that. She loves it. It can never be too much. So I don't know from which playground or which state of mind or where she's coming from, but I'm not in agreement with her points at all. And that doesn't go for every woman with what they look for in a relationship. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Dalvin.
So I have been thinking about how to open my mic and not sound like a complete, can I use the word? Let's say jerk. But let me put it like this. It's biological for a woman to seek a man who is more, let's say, case dominant, right? Now, it's biological because from the beginning of times, men used to hunt, women would, the traditional roles. May not get into it, don't start, please, Jesus Christ. Anyways, it's traditional, and that's exactly why women seek dominant men. It's in their biology. And that's why a lot of women end up with guys who cheat on them and treat them like crap, because it's just, don't really blame yourselves, just blame your ancestors, right? Some women are dominant most time. Now, see, from my experience, I've realized that a lot of women don't really, they'll say they want one thing, they don't want one thing. They want something else. And for some reason, no, I'm not gonna further.
That is true. No, let me add on that point for a quick 2 seconds. A while ago.
Me can say some things, but it's gonna offend a lot of you.
Guys, I understand we want to debate back and forth, but we're going in order. So please raise your hand. The next person we have is Fernando.
So
did it finish, Dalvin, or you have more to say?
I have more to say.
And remember, this is a safe place, and we're here to discuss and hear each other's perspective. So you have more to say, feel free.
Let me say it like this, right? I've seen it firsthand where a woman will say, oh, I want somebody that's open. I want somebody to tell me how they feel, all of that crap. that nice guy crap. And you know, way back when me used to fall for that. See, that's the thing. Most people think that you mature with age. You don't mature with age, you mature with experience. In my 18 years on this planet, I have learned so much that a lot of what you guys say, I'm wondering if it's because it's April Fool's, y'all decide to talk crap. Right? Now, I have seen it where a girl even says to me, "Oh, Dalvin, you can cry, you can do whatever." Dalvin falls for that, right? Because Dalvin doesn't show emotions. Few years ago, of course, and I know, few years ago, way back when in high school, I actually cried. Now, this young lady, she laughing. Of course, she laugh. You see me? I say laugh, I mean real laugh. Now, of course, me now, I learn my lesson right there. And it's the same thing with a lot of guys. I realize that women don't really always know what they want. Yeah, that's it.
By the way, but just want to say that Dalvin, this is off the record, but I feel like I don't want to conk the girl there and the same girl when they come up in the video, but where I cry for ya, but I'm just feel like the mentality is just so it just like
Yeah,
it just
the
boil my
mental.
blood. It literally just boil my blood. Like it's I'm not like an aggressive person like physically, but I just feel like if a girl to say that near me in my presence, but probably would have turned the case to youth and should have been a C-bar youth, but wouldn't just push. But it's not understand the mentality. Like, oh, him can't have feelings, him can't have emotions, him can't cry, him is a robot. What do you mean? If you want to date someone who doesn't cry, go find your own theory. I'm not get it. But the next person in the queue is Fernando.
Yeah, so Devin's said perfect, spot on. Like women, from my experience as well, they would say one thing but they mean the next. Like, what I came to realize is the things that a woman will say they want, it's when they're at their most vulnerable point. And that's like on their cycle. You know, that's like like not saying that's when they're most vulnerable, but like a vulnerable time for them, I believe. But other than that, for the next 21 days, they want basically the opposite type of guy. You see me? Only for that probably approximately 7 days. Yes, I go on that nice guy. But yeah, like they would say to you, I want a man that is willing to cry in front of me. You cry in front of, and then when argument start, you crying, you cry, whatever, this, that, ray, your big beach, anything, like, it's like when they say they want, whenever they say that they want us to be vulnerable, it's like they're telling us that they want ammo to put in their gun for that day so they can shoot us. That's how me feel. That's why, like, I'm very selective with who I show my emotion and to what rate I show my emotion. Like, only my sisters, and not even them, get to see me at my emotion, at my best. Like, I was at my grandfather's funeral and I was crying. And my sister said, "Hey, you can't cry because you're gonna make me cry too." So it's a tough world as a man. We are made for stability, and it is what it is.
I think that example was different though because it's like if me I got you a hard time and my best friend come up to me and like, "Are you okay?" But tell her to listen, I can't ask my question right now so we're in a public and you're asking at the damn gonna break. So I don't think her saying you can't cry or she can cry. I don't think that was because you're a male. I just think, others being strong around her, she feel like, all right, she can't be strong, but as soon as them break, she break with them. So I don't think that was
So
agenda.
she's basically saying to me that normally I am the strong one, so I still need to be strong in this moment.
Oh.
Because
Well, probably just a perception thing because just see it's a different way if you get. It's more like hey, you're watching a movie and as soon as people start crying, you start crying. So it's like, I can't tell all about crying. Not because they don't want you to be able to cry, but they're just saying, in my presence, you cry, me, I go cry the whole way, I got a ball. But,
Yeah.
you know her better than me, so maybe, yeah.
And you see, it goes to show you why even relationships are so delicate, but you have so many men or even women that are closed off even when they've entered a relationship because they're bringing in some of their old baggage from the previous relationship, and unfortunately sometimes that come over into the present one.
Can I go off to ask a question that is off topic, but
Ask your
why do
question
you?
after you. We're going to take Ashley. I want to.
Yes. So I have heard you're too perfect. What that mean?
Huh?
Like,
Got a lot of that, Fernando?
I can answer that.
huh? Like
So
you're being
Ask the question
yourself.
again. I did not hear it. Ask aloud, please. I know.
Like I have been told I am not trusted because I'm too perfect.
So this is coming from not just relationship wise, but just humans on a general. If something appears to be too good to be true, 99.9% of the chance it is too good to be true. We're so used to being traumatized, or we're so used to negative that when constant positivity comes, it can't real. There is no way that you are a person.
Really?
And there is no way that you're a person and you do every single thing I ask you right. No frustration, no nothing. We just are going on a cruise, complete perfect.
Right.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with you and I'm supposed to be okay. No.
Something to that, guys. I understand questioning it at first because probably it's a little odd if it's almost like you've never seen him.
No, Samuda, hold on. You're going back again. Fix up the mic. Fix the game on. You get your low. Can't hear you. Fix up the mic. By the way, it's on you to fix up the fix up the mic. Why wait for you? Keep testing. When I meet a guy who seems too perfect to be true, I've met somebody before who seemed too perfect to be true, and then the bubble pop. He was too good to be true. The amount of flaws will start show afterwards. Listen, if it was a flag, it could have too much color. Listen, amen. My God. That's all I say. So sometimes you just want to see the flaws them up front. Me personally want to see the flaws them up front so I can decide if these are things I am fine with. You have issues with this, we can work with that. You understand? Sir, when you start showing me some hefty flaws towards like after I don't know you and things you stay one way. Mighty God, you cover up that so long. Like you cover up one, them one of the road. I mean, I walk over the road every day, walk over the road just fine. And to them, I think that it's just fine. You move the covering, bloop, my God.
I agree. Can you hear me better or still?
I've been told I have been told. Also, to add to the too perfect, I've been told that I'm not looking for a husband right
now. You've been told that before? That they're not looking for a husband
multiple times.
That
so does something to turn on drunk or no?
That's mad. That's mad. That's mad.
Bro, like it's like
Fernando, question.
Yeah.
Have a female ever has a female who you've been interested into ever said to you that she's not looking for a husband now?
Yes.
Okay.
That's mad.
Like I even did a survey. I did a survey.
I understand. Was it that she's not looking for any husband or like in you? She's not looking for a husband in you. Look, you're weird right now. What do you mean? Is she not dating at all? What do you mean?
No, she had date. She was with me, but she ended the relationship.
Okay,
and me no propose. Me no reach there yet. So she's saying that
marriage.
No.
Okay, so
I'm not proposing. You know, I'm not proposing, so it's like she's saying that you
It's
come off
the
a
same
little
like
bit
with a
too
baby. You want children in the future, but you're just not ready for that right now. It doesn't mean that you never
yeah.
want them. Just right now, probably is not a good time for her.
Question, Fernando. How long was
That makes
this
sense.
That
roughly?
makes sense. You already tell
Huh?
baby right now, Fernando.
How long was the relationship?
Roughly.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Samuda is trying to ask you how long was the relationship, but you sound really low, so we can barely hear her. She's
Oh,
asking how long was the
the
relationship.
relationship was about a good going to a year.
That's still kind of young for marriage.
Okay. And at
Yeah,
any
so that means so we are about marriage for.
have you ever at any point in time signaled to her that you were interested in possibly popping the question?
No? Well, we make it clear, like I'm a person who always keep things up front. Like I'm the person who we have to go deal with issues right here and then. Like I'm not that type of person where you're a big sign you're gonna block me. No, if you block me, you don't unblock me. I'm that type of person. So we have to deal with the issue. So
Ever said
I made it clear that, you know, I am gauging my future towards this is my end goal. A marriage. I want one wife. And she will be the woman that will bear all of my kids.
Why that sound like
That
no
we
for
agree that.
Fernando? No, sir. All of my kids, like you want to have a football team. All of my she will hear. All of my kids. All 20 of them, 12 of them. See. Sounds like a large
So
number.
like I made it clear that I am, even though I'm not the person I am going to be yet, I would like to find her, that woman from now. Well, at that time. Me a drunker now.
Oh, you're
Thanks
going
to
backwards. Oh, you forgot backwards. I don't understand. You
you know,
can't be
say me asleep
doing it and
wrong.
then you're like, you just said you're a vulture now. Why are you going
No, me
backwards?
say
Your
me a
time
drunker,
machine off.
meaning that huh?
Your time machine is off. You have to improve. Not going
Me
backwards.
improve. But me just no longer go make people know that that's my expectations. So now me have 19 now, so if I spread it to you guys are in danger.
Fernando.
We're not a STI. We're not spread not.
Yeah.
Yes, so I think you see that's why the dating stage is so very important because both parties have to make clear what we're really doing here. But sometimes we say, okay, let's just go with the flow and kind of see how it turns out. But I believe, right, you made your goals and what you intended for the relationship to be early on. And I think from you kind of put it out there that began to scare her off. So be careful with when you kind of do the full shoeless kind of talk, because especially if you're at a point where both of you aren't even really fully in love with each other yet, I look at it in a way where it's going to be easy for her to cut. You understand? Because she's not so deep and in tune with her feelings. So it's easier for her to exit the relationship at that point. It's like someone having trauma growing up. And on the first and second date, they say to you, let's just get it out of the way. I had a very traumatic experience when I was young. This happened and this happened. And the man might say, why? That rough, but me can't really continue with a relationship anymore. Me don't want to date no more. She shouldn't have said it at that point because no connection had been established or built. That should have been mentioned where she truly felt comfortable with him to even bring that up to begin with. Now, did she ever say to you that you're too perfect? Did she ever say that to you?
Hold on, guys. I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to probably cut this short. It's almost Sunday. So I'm gonna take Dalvin and we'll move right on.
Alright, it's basically just fair to what Fernando saying, but it's a my twist to it. I realize a lot of women is like them need a reason for be angry sometimes. You see, once you deprive them of that reason for be angry, for be miserable, then them just a start go about a madness and then have no reason for justify it. So now them a go on deep, right? I have seen where me and somebody are going good, right? And them just start act different. And just start act different for no reason. I have had a girl told me that she loved me too much, so she can't be with me because she loves me. I have heard a lot of crazy reasons for stopping, right? So really and truly realize, as I said earlier, y'all don't know what you want. So
And you see, Delvin, I think another part of the problem is that when we're in the dating stage, everybody wants to take on a picture. Everybody wants to paint a picture as to how they want to come off to the person that they're interested in. And that's the worst fucking thing you can do. You understand? Because it ends up biting us later down the line. Because you
But
ask once, huh?
wouldn't that be manipulation
Um,
if I don't make my intentions be known?
Definitely. But
So that means that manipulation is good at some times.
what?
Sorry,
Because
continue.
if I don't let you know that you know, I'm gearing like this, we're going into a relationship. My intentions are that maybe within 5 years, you know, I would, you know, you'll be my wife. You probably might have a couple kids for me. And I am a man that don't believe in divorce
Right,
based
but
on my
No, but then
belief.
some things they just
But
lay on the
if I
table
don't let that be
beforehand.
known to you and I just take time and just gauge it, you know, directing the relationship in my path,
right.
wouldn't that be me manipulating you so I can get
No.
what I
It
want?
depends. That doesn't really sound like manipulation. That does sound like both of you did not have that talk. And that talk, some couples do, some couples don't. But some persons like to establish what their goals are for the future, like relationship, separate from your career goals. What are your relationship goals? Do you believe in marriage? Do you plan to have children? Do you believe in having children? What kind of household do you want to provide for your children? This kind of conversation, this kind of talk and family planning, it is not widely practiced, but it is not like foreign. It is not to say, oh, if you don't do it, then you're living your life wrong. It would be great if both of you can come to the table and talk and discuss, so you know, if you guys are compatible in that aspect for the stability of your future children and so forth, and your future relationship if you plan to continue. But I would not say it is manipulation if you don't mention it upfront. With that being said, we do have a story time from Ashley about perfect men, and I want to hear it.
Wow.
You couldn't not see it.
Listen, I have see it. Go ahead with your
Could
story.
you
So
not have seen it?
your stories are
No.
storying. So let's hear the story.
Jay, no, go away.
Tell the story and I'll stop it.
Okay, so I think I did tell this story a long time ago. Honestly, but do I'm so embarrassed? Probably not. So I was in a relationship for 3 years, and throughout the whole relationship, we have never had an argument or a disagreement, not once. At some point during the relationship, I sat down and I was assessing things, and I was like, bruh, 1.5 year, no argument, no disagreement. Nah, this too good to be true. And me I talk to God now, me I say, God, just show me a sign that this something wrong. Anyways, we went on, and in the third year, he just completely disappeared. It kind of off the face of the earth. For about a week, I did not hear from him. So I messaged him, and I think I called him, and I got no answer. So Saturday, that was like Okay, so the Saturday he went missing, and the following week Saturday I decided to call him, and somebody picked up the phone, and it was a male's voice. So I hung up because I was around my dad at the time, and then I messaged the person. Sorry, I messaged him, and he was like, "Who is this?" So right then and there, I was like, I'm about to go off on this nigga. So I told him who it was, and he was like, "Oh, hi babe, what's up?" So I'm like, dude, you haven't spoken to me in 1 week, and this is how you come back and talk to me. Anyways, we started talking back on WhatsApp, so I asking him what took place. He gave me one story about him and a friend or a coworker him phone, and the coworker wipe him phone and all manner of stuff. So I had a big brother, not blood. I put the story to him, and he was like, "Nah, sis, he's telling you I like her. That don't make no sense. You can't do that man for 3 years and him don't know your phone number outside head. That should be the first number him store back in him phone." So I'm like, yeah, I know this nigga lying, but I was still willing to try. Honestly, at that time though, me personally, like I was losing out of the relationship. I'm a clingy person and I love hard. And when me lose a fire, it's hard to gain it back. So that was the breaking point. So what actually took place, what ended the relationship, is that when he came back, me did have try find a way for just end the relationship. And a past incident that's occurred, I tackled him about it, and I got more information on it. So in the end, it actually turned out that this nigga was cheating, and you'd have thought he was cheating on me. He was cheating with me. So yeah, we had a big fool for 3 years. Big fool, big bun said
Wow. 3 years
yamming.
is
Yeah,
not just
big
like nothing.
yamming.
Boy.
3 years, 3 whole years, never suspect nothing. That's a long time.
Yeah,
Long.
yeah, yep. Oh, no, you guys are
Poor
supposed to make me feel
Crystal, you
better
guys are
about it.
laughing at her story. Thank you for sharing,
You
Ashley. It
guys
was
are
very informative.
supposed to teach me. Oh my God, go! You guys are supposed to teach me.
We're here to support you, girl. Come cry on our shoulders. We're here for you. Why? We're here for you, but your
Yeah.
mic is not. You're chipping out.
Good thing she done the story.
The story
Imagine.
finished. The story is finished.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A good thing she done before it chip
Yeah,
out.
yeah. So, guys, let's move into the next segment. For tonight, the date of our next meeting. Based on our calendar of events, we are currently at meeting number 6. We have one more official meeting per se for the semester. We have the games night next week, and next week Saturday, it will be leading into sports day the next day for those participating, followed by end of semester assessment period. So come out, do a little detox. We know that assignments are killing some of us, and we're stressed out, but come out, enjoy some game night. We're starting at 8 p.m., so not 9. We're starting at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 4 times 2, 8. Awesome. So we're starting 1 hour early for next Saturday. Games night. So see you there. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We're so good at conversing and talking. But how good are we at playing games? Relaxing. Having, a chill time. Closing remark. When you say that, that means the meeting has ended or is ending. It was a pleasure having you. Some new faces, some not so new faces, some returning faces. Welcome back. Welcome, new persons. It was wonderful. It was really a really good and engaging meeting for our last conversational meeting for the semester. We really hope that the topic and the presentation information shared was worth your while, and we hope that you'll share the meeting, the club with other persons. Yeah. So have a good one. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. The meeting is now officially adjourned at 11:53 p.m.